tough times for SKT. They're tied for first, you know, right before this. KT in last, but KT in the lead 2-0 right now.
Yeah, a couple of crazy games, man. The super long all-in out of Stats, trying to crush down Su, but Su was just holding on for so long. And then that crazy PvP where Zest was able to take a huge fight and then just barely push it over onto Billowy. Billowy had so many opportunities there to get very far ahead to even win that game, but just barely not able to hold on to that win. And now we've got 2-0 for KT, like you did mention. We are going into Flash versus Dark here. I definitely would favor Dark in this one. He's been playing so well, especially against Terran. He's got a very unique style. Terrans are having a hard time dealing with it, but he's up against God.
Yep, he is. Now, this guy is the guy who last season we said, oh, he's stealing the deal, he's closing this out. It doesn't matter who he's against. He's got all the momentum. He has no nerve issues, but he's been playing terribly in this matchup recently. He's had a lot of trouble. He lost to Lucira, and before that, he lost to Life 0-3. So, I mean, this guy is having some serious troubles in the matchup. He's been off his game, though. I feel like it's not like I'd say Flash is bad in this matchup. He just hasn't looked as strong as we saw him before. I don't know if he's having trouble practicing. I don't know if he's got anything going on in his personal life. Maybe he's still a little bit sick or something. I don't know. But it's not the same Flash we saw last season that we've been seeing from him so far this year.
That is very true. A lot of people are anticipating his comeback into his very, very strong form. But he's up against Dark. We talked about this a little bit before. We don't agree with that purple arrow. Not sure what that's about. This guy has been playing so well these days. I would actually give him not the red one, but maybe the yellow one, the upwards diagonal one. And, I mean, this guy is becoming one of the biggest breakout players of 2015 so far. And I'm really riding the back of this guy. I'm loving his play. And I just, every time I get to cast him, I get nerd chills, man.
Well, he's got a lot to prove today. And he needs to win. He absolutely must win, or KT closes out with a clean sweep, something they wanted to do. All right, guys, let's find out if Dark can do this or if Flash is going to get the 3-0.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Terran player from KT, it is Flash.
So the first time he came to the next arena, these were excited to see Flash here. Now to the top left in blue, a player that's been really hyped, on a roll, the secret project of Boxer, the last remaining member of Slayers to live and play on a top level team, and somebody you yourself been saying and speaking highly of for a very long time. It's Dark.
Yeah, really coming into his own so far from the beginning of just this season. He's really turned it on. He said in an interview once upon a time last season, he's like, I'm really good, actually. Everybody should pay attention to me. You know, I'm overshadowed, rather, by my bigger brothers here, you know, Sulky and Su, back in the days when Sulky was on SKT. And give me a chance. I'm going to be coming up, and he's beginning to prove. He's come out on this map before, in this matchup, ZVT, and he seems very comfortable in it, whereas Flash actually lost on this map to Lucira as well.
Flash has consistently 2 barracks proxied on this map versus Zerg, like the last 3, I think, times he played on it. And now he's going to go for a CC first. He's totally changing it up, just playing very differently, which is going to force a pool first here. So good already advantage here for Flash, getting into his opponent's mind a little bit. And if you're Dark, can you really hatch first here when Flash has just consistently proxied on this map? A lot of Terrans have proxied on this map in general. I feel like in good conscience you can't, especially when your team is 0-2. If I was planning on doing hatch first, I'd be like, Coach, I'm going to do hatch first. I'd be like, no, do not do it. Just don't. Just go pool first, because if he does it again and you die, that's it for us. So just go pool first. You have to. And this is that Flash gets an advantage, and he gets that CC first.
Yeah, very smart out of Flash just to read the situation. You know, he's a great player in mechanics and macro, of course, and in micro. He's, you know, known as the god of StarCraft, but he's also just a very smart player as well. You know, people have called him a robot in the past. He likes to do the same build over and over, but that doesn't mean that he can't be smart in situations like this. He's like, oh, we're up 2-0. I can take an advantage like this, go for CC first, where I've been showing recently, you know, my 2 barracks play, and I'm getting into his head already. And Flash has got to be happy with this.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And the Zerglings are scouted here, and you could hear a huge crowd cheer comes out for the Flash fans as they know that he has a huge advantage now. These Lings, of course, coming across the map to see what damage they can get done because, of course, this was a CC first, which Dark has already scouted himself. The bunker placement is going to also protect the ramp. I think this is a great bunker placement. And it's going to be tough to deny. Ling's coming in. He's going to bring some SCVs down here. If he can actually block the ramp with these 2 SCVs, 3 SCVs, in fact, with the bunker, he's going to be able to deny a scout there. I'm actually sad we don't get to see the first-person view of this because I think this would actually be pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, man. I was looking at that of Dark. He's just so fast, man. But here we go. The bunker is up.
Okay.
The Marine is out. Second one to follow up. And Dark knows this as well. He's just going to have to back off.
Yeah. You know, he could have maybe tried to run into the ramp, but would have been too risky, not knowing what's up there.
Very, very fast. Third CC after CC first. A very greedy economic play here. And if Dark does not scout this, Flash can definitely get a huge lead in this game.
Yeah, he's going to be able to power up so much barracks after this. So much pressure put on. And if he doesn't see this also, he doesn't know just how greedy he can be. And because of how this matchup works, he only has 1 Overlord scout over the base, the one we're seeing here. As JK has just highlighted, the 2 other Overlords are kind of on those little holes in the middle of the map that you guys could see. Great position to have the Overlord at, but it's not going to give him vision of that 3rd CC. There's no way he's going to be able to scout this for a really long time, so he has to keep it safe, play it slow, and he already had a delayed hatch, so if Flash gets away with this, he's even going to be further ahead. And he says, if you're Flash, you're going to get us that 3-0.
Yep.
Of course he is Flash, so I mean, we'll see.
He is Flash. Just to clear that up for anyone watching. Third base does come down here out of Dark a bit later, and Flash is going for that factory. Of course, with a build like this, your tech is going to be a little bit later as the Terran. Drops will come out a lot later, and Dark does know this.
Yeah, that scout does come over here and sees the third base timing. And Flash double
factory.
Let's see if it's double fact Blue Flame into Hellbats. Pretty common follow-up. He is getting 2 E-base, so this is not going to be mech. Don't freak out, Artosis. But Ovilo like almost jumped out of his chair, but no, everything's fine. So let's see how he wants to execute this. I think it's going to be the Blue Flame one. That follow-up. He doesn't have the add-on being pre-made.
Well, there you go. Tech Lab on the way.
Yeah, okay.
And that's being made very, very close. 2 engineering bay is going to start the 1-1 at the same time.
Notice that Flash keeps all of his tech hidden. You know, he's got, constantly, even Hellions checking to see if the Overlord's trying to come across. He has that Marine to the north of his base. He hides his factory at the furthest place back. Is now going to move it into a location where it's still not going to be scouted. Scans some roaches, safety roaches against Hellbats, and sees the evolution chamber coming up. Just in case, makes a siege tank, which is part of the reason why this factory is great. Because he can get the siege tank out, and because siege tanks don't need to research siege mode anymore, should he choose to, he could also get the Blue Flame at the same time as the tank is making.
Maybe just seeing all those roaches just come out, he's like, oh, okay, I'll get a tank. It's very safe, really good against roaches. Going to start an extra bunker here, a wall as well, and just be safe against anything like this. Because once again, something we've seen out of some Zergs on this map, just break those back door rocks at the natural and go for a big Zergling, Baneling, roach timing, stuff like this. We've seen it before. So Flash just choosing to be safe. I like it.
He actually continues siege tank production, perhaps out of fear. Perhaps he wants to go for a completely different comp and see even another tech lab being made by this factory. So definitely not going to be seeing that Blue Flame Hellion opening that I was feeling like we might see. It's a pretty tough, more I think about it, to actually pull this off at this late of a timing. If you go for a fast 3rd CC, that gets so delayed, and by the time you're over there, you're not really going to be able to run by and kill drones. So I like this choice, actually. Just make some safety siege tanks. An armory is coming up. And that can allow him to get his 2-2 pretty much right on time, and that's going to put him significantly ahead of Dark in upgrades.
Yeah. We've seen some turns. I think it may have been Flash, even against Luceria. I think that may be the game I'm thinking of here. But Flash has been a guy before to make tanks instead of Widow Mines, actually. Just go for heavy upgrades on your infantry while just getting a bunch of tanks in the back. Just go Marine tank. You know, get some upgrades for your mech as well. He is getting that armory up here. And we've seen it work. I mean, Flash hasn't had the most success with it so far, but...
well, it's an old-school style. And it's definitely one that has had a lot of success in the past. And something to consider is Dark, normally with a style, goes Roach into Corruptor. And when you have Corruptors instead of Mutalisks, you don't have to worry as much about your siege tanks getting picked off as you do when you have Mutalisks. But is this actually just going to be a slow Baneling run by that works? No.
He had a tank in a nice position. If Flash actually didn't see that, those Banelings could have possibly snuck by, because there was a little, you know, nook there where he could have gone past the depots before they were made and gone in there. But Flash, right on top of that, he pulls his SCVs. No damage done. Maybe a couple of SCVs building those depots, but
by the way,
he's just fine.
I want to point out that there hasn't been really a whole scout on that this is bio with this. And right now, he might be thinking this is mech, which is why we see this infestation pit. He could be trying to go Swarm Host against Siege Tank Bio, and I don't think that's going to be too good. There's the first 4 Locusts, or first upgrades 4 Locusts, as well as a few Mutalisks coming in here. But Flash has hidden his Marines. They're all hiding in the main base, so you might be thinking, oh, Flash likes to go back on this map a lot. I've seen it before.
You're pretty spot on. I mean, we got 2-2 for infantry coming his way. He's not just making that for no reason. He's going to have a big number of infantry units in this mix. And Marines?
He's trying to build a comp that counters the Roach Corruptor build that we've seen from Dark, while also trying to make Dark think that this is mech. At least trying to hide that from him, because he's seen a ton of tanks, a ton of Hellions, and these Mutalisks are going to get the first glimpse of Bio that has Stim. He hasn't seen it yet, though, in fact. Funny as it is, if he just keeps making Swarm Hosts, you know, if you get enough Swarm Hosts out, it can do well against Bio, but, well...
He did have that Overlord there right next to his natural, and he saw, I heard the stim out of the Marines coming up to defend against the Mutalisks. So he may in fact know, but right after he saw that, he still made a bunch more Swarm Hosts.
Well, let's be frank, too. This is not just Bio. This is like some weird polymerization. Uh-oh, is he going to cancel this? Oh, barely not going to be able to.
Repair.
Going to lose some SCVs for it, though. But this is some weird, like, Marine King style of a lot of Marines with a ton of mech units, like tons of Thors, tanks, and in this case, Hellbats as well. So this isn't just straight up Bio, so Swarmos can be quite nice against this. They're great against small numbers of Marines. I'm going to look at the unit counts here.
Just really interesting style overall. We see Dark even going into Hive now, just very confidently here to sit on the back of his Swarmos and his Locust and just defend.
Okay, now he definitely knows what's up. There's no secrets here. And now starts Banelings. Panic, 24 Banelings. Oh my god, there's Bio. I am not prepared. Baneling speed he does have, so that's really important. His creep spread is also very, very strong.
Yeah. He's also got the attack upgrades for melee, so not really the best for Lucas, but really good for laying Bane. So he's already gone to 2-2 for that, so he may have had an idea, but trying to come in for an attack. But again, the tanks in the back going to be very good at defending against all these Banelings.
Okay, here we go. Baneling's going to try to roll down into a concave here with a Thor at the front. Absolutely not what he wants to do. No tanks even in there. That could have made things even worse.
Yeah, where are the tanks, actually?
He's just keeping them on the defense, yeah. They're not going to be able to retreat until Legacy of the Void when they just get picked up in Medivacs.
That's a lot of tanks, man. He's making a ton of missile turrets in this mix as well to defend the tanks. But look at this. A lot of this Bio and the Thors in the front getting left out alone without the tanks.
But he is off creep. And oh no, these rocks are not lifted.
Uh-oh.
Tries to drop Thors into the Banelings, but Dark getting a massive amount of Marine kills there. That was a great trade for him. Back at home, he is going into Corruptors. Ultralisk Cavern. And he could start his 3-3 here momentarily. His 2-2's just finishing up right now. And he is going to have the Adrenal Glands on the way for those Zerglings.
Yep. Dark, really nice defense. Immediately sending those over. He does have to defend, though, at the 5th base that he just have to the east. Nothing mining here just yet. He does lose a lot of Banelings on one Thor. He does kill it, but again, not the greatest trade.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of gas spent inefficiently there. But his control and his reaction time is impeccable, stopping these 2 drops that could do a lot if there's nothing there, but just always having Lings ready. Flash, meanwhile, is going to drop this 4th base, or I suppose 5th base.
Again, no split.
Yeah, not paying attention there. A few Corruptors out, going to start to annoy him here. And again, Corruptors just going to take these medevacs out, blowing up that bio. But Flash has 3-3 upgrades nearly completed. If he can just max out with those 3-3 upgrades, and if he decides to bring his tanks, if he feels confident enough to do that, this army gets even stronger.
That it does. We have 95 drones on the map right now for Dark. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those go into some static defense a little bit soon here.
And Flash knows what's up. He's got 2 tech labs on starports, and he's getting the Corvid reactor. He's ready to switch to Ravens. He's ready to switch to Supreme late game TVZ. He knows where this game is going. It's going to the Broodlord territory, man. It's going Broodlord, Ultralisk. You know, I want to have as much PDD energy as possible. I need to have as much secret energy as possible. But all at the same time, he has the flexibility of harassment with bio. And once the bio starts to fade away, you continue his mech upgrades and get into a better comp. But ooh, some siege tanks getting picked off here. That's expensive. That's
really nice positioning on the Swarm host. He moves them over there to defend and moves a lot of his Ling Bane over to the left side of defense against the bio. So far splitting up decently well, but he's not following up this defense at the 4th base over here. And he finally moves these guys down.
Yep, and most of those Banes hit Marauders, so the drop stayed steady. Another scan over here by Flash. Just want to see if he has the opportunity to move over here and do any more damage. Continue to harass as he switches into a better maxed out army than the bio.
Yeah, man. This is just another really exciting game. Today's been so great, man.
This is really, really cool. The siege tank's getting a bit exposed, though. It's going to cost him 1 or 2.
I mean, it's a good spot there, but not really against Swarm host when you got vision there of the high ground.
We may even end up seeing BCs in this game. I mean, he's got a ton of Tech Lab, starports. I mean, he's going to want Ravens. That's going to be the priority. We might see 1 or 2 BCs to force maybe some Vipers out. I don't think so. I'm just getting really excited. Tons of Ravens already on the map. We have about to be 4 Ravens. Seeing the +2 for his armored units. He doesn't have any armor for those vehicles, though. Just keep that in mind. So something to consider. And his bio is still 3-3, and he's still making some. He's not completely switching out of it. He doesn't quite have the infrastructure to do that. Look at the bank of Dark. He's got nearly 4,000 minerals, 1,600 gas, so he's got the flexibility to do whatever he wants. He may want to do a big Mutalisk switch, but he's got to be careful with all these Ravens on the map.
Sormos trying to move up here. The Locust actually catching some bio out in the middle of the map. Looks like Dark may want to take an engagement here, even off creep. He's got a really nice mix here. Some Ultralists in the front to tank. Not the greatest focus fire there onto the Banelings. They do roll in, but again, not the greatest hits onto bio either.
Yep, no, not really. And here come those Locusts, but they're a bit too late. There's plenty of Vikings here with that bio support to just run around them. They're off creep. Things start out as a good engagement for Dark. But once those Ultras came into that little narrow place where they couldn't get all their AoE damage, the Marauders just tore them apart. And that's going to rip a hole in the bank of Dark. But keep in mind, even after he had to remax there, he's still got 23-13 in gas there and minerals. Pathogen Glands finishing up here to help out against these very expensive air units.
Ooh, losing some of these Swarm hosts.
Oh, he's trying to move back into the siege tanks for defense. Locust here, not able to make anything work with that PDD.
Yeah, not quite. He did a good job of microing his Lings in to get a lot of those tank hits onto the Marines in the front. That is one thing, but he is moving his Locust, or rather his Swarmos, right into some bio, and a really nice scan here. He's going to lose a lot of these. He loses 3, and now that bio is on the run.
Oh, a huge attack over here. Meanwhile, the crowd is going crazy. This Planetary was not done yet. He's going to force a lift, and with Corruptors coming over, might be able to just snipe that CC. Meanwhile, this base does get sniped as well. And actually, he didn't bring Corruptors with his army, so the CC will live. Let's see how much damage he gets done with these Banelings. A huge wall here will help defend, but it will eventually break. And these Lings, they've got really nice upgrades, including the Adrenal Glands.
Yep, they got the Adrenal Glands, and at the moment, this is forcing a big number of Flash's units back home to defend. Dark not quite taking advantage of it on the army front. He's not attacking any of their bases, but he is just, settling himself, just, getting back on terms here.
Yep. Marauders, of course, will make quick work of Ultralisk, but with the bank that Dark has, he feels comfortable enough to keep trading this with the bio. Siege tanks let me just give you guys some more unit numbers. Oh, they're on screen again here. 7 siege tanks. We've got 8 Vikings out on the map. And 84 drones to 46 SCVs. Hold that thought. Big attack here. Going to wipe these siege tanks. And then he might even want to go for the planetary. Nah, that doesn't have enough banelings nearby. Banshee's starting to come into the mix, though. And that's going to be annoying. That makes air control so much more important than the Raven count. He's got 5 of them. That's going to be plenty of PDDs to help protect those Banshees.
It's a lot of air units coming out of the Terran. May want to see Dark consider some infestors here, some good fungals on a lot of that air. We already see 4 coming out right now. May want to add some more Corruptors to the mix as well. He's only got 7 right now, but he's going to have to deal with that air switch here out of Flash eventually.
Yeah, he got Pathogen Glands earlier, so he's absolutely prepared for this. Those are going to be his first 4 infestors, as you mentioned. They will each come out with enough for 1 fungal. Banshee's just so annoying to deal with in this case because they can fight your Banelings, they can fight your Ultralisk without any hope of recourse. Let's see how much damage this gets onto production, though. May have just wanted to blow those up on the starport, but now the starports are lifting, and he's fighting into a really unfavorable position here with these Ultralisks, which again is going to deplete some of his bank. But bank, not a problem for Dark, it's just comp. That's the problem. And when you deplete your supply, then you can actually switch your comp. 6 more Corruptors.
The guy who's having trouble with this bank right now is Flash. He's not mining at this base. He's not mining at his 3rd anymore. And Dark is actually trying to take his 5th base over there.
Oh, the fungal on these Banshees is huge. He chains it with a 2nd one. Can he get a 3rd? He does.
And he's following up with the Corruptors coming in, but that's a lot of Vikings.
It is a lot of Vikings. It's going to cost him a lot here, but I think it's worth it because he knows Flash's bank is not as good. And if he can eliminate any of these expensive air units, it's going to be worth it for him. And now, after he's eliminated enough of those, he feels like he can switch to Mutalisks. 20 Mutalisks on the way. There's not that many Vikings out on the map. And a lot of that Raven energy was depleted in that last fight as well.
Yep, very true. As long as he can stay away from those Banshees, away from those Ravens, save his units, he can definitely take advantage with this huge tech switch right now. Taking out another Banshee, they're very important.
Yeah, just a nice little grab with that Queen. The small Bioforce for Flash struggles to find anything to get done. He looks like he wants to consider making a big push towards the left side, towards that 9 o'clock position. Wouldn't fault him for that, but if he gets out there and gets caught with the lack of bank, he cannot remax his army. So he needs to be able to avoid fungals, needs to be able to see those before they come. Okay, there's a scan, that location he wants to attack. Doesn't see any army there. He hasn't seen the Mutalisk switch yet either. Raven energy, some of them are at high energy, some of them low. It's about 50-50 for them. If he blasts out a bunch of energy here, he's going to regret it when the Mutalisks show. Okay, now he sees it. He sees it now.
And now he's going to notice it if he didn't before. Going to take out one of its medevacs, and he's going to say, oh, where do those Mutalisks come from? And now they can put on a huge threat. Not that many turrets back at the base for Flash. He's got like 3 at the natural, but that's a lot of Mutalisks, man.
It is, and they've got +3, so they're making quick work of those turrets. They don't have plating. They don't have range. Going out even without a cancel here. Every 100 minerals counts. It's going for add-ons, it looks like first.
Some desperate turrets are trying to come up here. That one almost finishes, but it does get taken out.
There's no Thors, and Raven's coming back for the defense is too slow and too risky. He has to send his Bioforce back. He only has 31 Marines on the map, and most of those were so far away. These Mutalisks are doing great amounts of work. It's not just about the fact that Mutalisks can do well against the tech here. It's just because they're mobile, and the army of Flash is not right now.
Yep, Flash is just not ready for this. We have a really cool thing going on at the 5th base over there towards the east, but in the meantime, tons of damage getting done to all these SCVs. 23 going down. The Banelings are rolling in the back rocks. He's making spine crawlers over there at this base that he stole as well. Dark is beginning to grab hold of this game.
Yeah, he's starting to get into the production. He set up some Baneling traps here as well for the bio. And look at this, Mutalisk might just take out this planetary. Flash is getting picked apart left and right.
God.
His multitasking is not standing up to Flashes right now. Baneling's rolling into the main here, and eventually he is going to clean this up with his Banshees. Flash trying to go for one last-ditch attempt to cross the map because this is basically his last chance. His main is in tatters. His economy doesn't exist. He needs to actually win the game right here, right now. A bunch of Banelings morphing. Let's talk about, air units. There's 13 Mutalisks left on the map. There are 11 Vikings. There's only 1 Corruptor at this moment in time. 50 Lings on the way. He just wants to make enough ground units to hold this off.
Yep, and if he can do that, like you said before, a pretty much non-existent economy right now for Flash. You see that supply dropping. He's actually supply boxes. So many of those depots went down as well. He can barely make units at this moment in time.
Yeah. Did you see that sick bounce Glaive Worm to kill that full medevac? That was insane.
Yeah, man.
And now 2 more of these siege tanks going to get sniped. And with no siege tanks over here, these tanks are a bit too slow on the siege. Banelings wipe this army. And I think that's going to be it. Dark is going to force that next game. Although Vikings get some good hits here, I just don't think it's going to be enough. There's just too much on the ground. What is he going to do, land the Vikings to fight this? I don't think so.
Flash has a bit of an air army, and he's not going to leave the game yet. He's going to try to do some damage there at the bases, but Dark is beginning to get into the buildings of Flash. He takes out his last mining base. There's no mining going on at the third base besides that one gas.
And this is what these infestors are for. The infestors that are being made right now are all going to pop with a fungal.
11.
And if he can just chain some fungals or even get some infested Terrans down and wipe this air army, that's all he needs to do, and he's won the game. It's not going to be easy, which is why Flash is still trying for this here. But if he can get the fungals, block this army down and take it out, that's it. That's Flash's last card in his hand. Let's see if it's going to win him the game. Okay, there's the first.
Fungal's already coming down. If he gets one, GG's called. GG! Dark has done it. He's kept SKT in, man. This guy, that was a beautiful game. Really got to hand it to him. Really picking Flash apart there. Loves to go into those late game ZBTs. He definitely is a master of this matchup. Just unbelievable play. Love watching him play. And here we go. SKT is still in it. We're going to go to game number 4.
Now we are, and I want to give it to Flash, though. That was the best we've seen him play in recent times in the matchup. He played a completely unique style that, polymerization of mech, twisted with some bio, with the bio upgrades, always keeping Dark guessing, playing a build that countered Dark's style, forcing Dark to innovate on the fly, adapt in that game. And the fact that Dark was able to do all of that against a style that was designed to beat his is incredible. But Flash, with a great opening, really like